All right, everybody, welcome to Four Guys, One Film. My name is Alexis.
My name is Isaac.
This is George.
My name's Nick.
We're just a couple dudes in a garage that are just going to chat about films, a bunch of reviews, old films, mostly new films, but we're just going to get into it, and I hope you guys enjoy this.
This week's feature film is John Wick 4, The Final Chapter. Now, Alexis is going to be hosting. Is this his
Yes,
movie?
I am. This is my movie. People say, I have a little air of a Keanu Reeves on me. I don't know. Who says this?
Nobody, buddy. Nobody.
I mean,
I'm pretty sure you said it, though.
You're a good looking guy.
He wishes
but-
people say it.
Thank you.
I
He
mean,
says
I
it to
agree.
himself in the mirror every
You know,
morning.
He tells us.
my dad tells me all the time, but he is my dad, so.
Should
Before-
we do spoiler free?
Yeah, we're going to start with the spoilers review, and then
Oh.
we're going to get into it.
Wait. Spoiler free? That's not fun. I don't think that's
spoilers.
fun.
Hey,
I think we should just get into
All
the
right,
goddamn
spoilers.
Let's
spoilers.
just get balls deep into this thing and
Oh,
fucking
Look, at this point,
no foreplay. Like
at this
that?
point,
no spitting, just raw dog. Fucking. let's
if
go
you haven't seen
right
the
into it.
movie, then you're no fan.
Yeah.
Okay? But maybe after listening to us, you will be a fan. But honestly, the movie was just from start to finish a full-blown fight scene.
Yeah, there was not a lot of acting from Keanu. Just him doing grunts and taking
Yeah,
hits.
let's be honest here. There is zero plot to this. It's just a guy reacting to things that are happening to him.
I actually disagree. I feel like they did a lot better world building this time around compared to the last three films.
What
Don't
world?
get me wrong. I mean, like the first couple films, I feel like obviously they're introducing the character, the Baba Yaga, and then they're getting into whatever his reasoning behind all these killings are. But this time, I feel like they dove deep into like who the High Table is, all these different sectors of the universe, and it just felt a lot more depth to it than the first three. But that's just me.
That's
I don't
interesting.
know.
That's interesting.
I,
because,
I feel like there was zero depth to any of the world building. All the world building came from like the first three films because, I mean, there was only a mention of the High Table.
well, the High Table's been around since like the second movie. They explained about the High Table in the second movie. They wanted him dead because he broke the rules. They brought in that weird dude from Italy in the third.
That
Yeah.
was the second one. The second,
second
one
one?
was the Santino family.
Yeah, oh yeah,
where he claimed the marker from John,
yeah.
basically saying you're gonna do something for me. John refused, and then when he came to help kill his sister, who sat at the high table, that's when John was given the $7 million bounty, and then decided to kill Santino
It's nothing.
at the Continental.
And then the third one is
7 million?
is where he has
It's not-
Halle Berry help him just kill people that are part of an elder of the High Table.
Yeah,
Goddamn
he-
Halle Berry.
And he committed himself to the elder. Exactly. That's when
Yeah.
he cut his
And that's
That's
where
exactly
the second one,
Alexis.
the third one ends, and like the fourth one
Yeah.
kind of begins too
Good
with him
God.
still in Arabia or wherever the fuck he is, somewhere in the Middle East.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kicks off with first one. He's riding a Mustang, but not the Mustang we were expecting. It was very interesting. I like it.
Actually, I really liked that introduction. It kind of gave me Lawrence of Arabia vibes.
Yeah,
It was
yeah.
just there was something about it. Kind of came out of nowhere.
The action was phenomenal because there was a lot of like long singular takes. It wasn't just cut. It was like 30 seconds of action, 30 seconds of action, then a cut to another 30 seconds of action. So it didn't feel like just every 10 seconds a cut, like because he couldn't do the moves. Like Keanu put it work.
That's
Like-
one of the things that I agree with Isaac about that. But like most action films, if you look at them, a lot of these like high budget action films in Hollywood, they have so many fucking cuts between the takes and action that it actually takes you out of the experience because it's like so chopped up post what is it called post editing or whatever. Like when they're working on it, the actual action doesn't seem real or it doesn't have the same feel. But this, it's like continuous takes. It's clearly like they're filming it in a way where you're diving deep into the fight and it feels legitimate. It's similar to like Old Boy, if you guys ever watched it. Remember that action
film.
scene in the fucking hallway?
One day we might review.
Oh no, we have to review it. But that action scene in the hallway where it's just one long consecutive take and he's literally fighting a bunch of fucking dudes off, and it's like it's literally masterfully done. And it's been used over and over as a reference to what a good action take is. So
I think in general, Hollywood is moving towards like, how can we do single cam? How can we do wide, shots? I mean, look at Dunkirk. They won phenomenally for doing that and showing that in a different type of genre, which is war films, obviously. But
yeah.
I don't even know who Dunkirk is.
Did you mean Dunkirk?
Dunkirk.
Oh, Dunkirk.
I'm sorry.
I thought you were talking about a person.
I was like, wait, what director is that? What the fuck?
Isn't Dunkirk with like the best Spider-Man of all time?
What?
No, that's Hacksaw Ridge. God damn it. Do you guys watch any fucking war movies? First of all, I thought he was referencing 1917 because that has one consecutive take for the entire fucking movie. But I mean, technically it wasn't. Yeah, they kind of cut it halfway in between or something. But Dunkirk, can you explain? What do you feel that way?
Well, no, I'm saying like, and 1917 is actually kind of Dunkirk. I think took it from 1917. You're right. They were the ones who kind of first tried that shot.
Wasn't Dunkirk before 1917?
I think it was. Yeah.
Oh man, this is
Dunkirk
awkward.
came out in 2017, and what's the other one?
1917
came out in 1917, guys. What the? It's in the fucking title.
It came out 2000. Nope, Dunkirk was first.
So, well, I know regardless, there's a scene in Dunkirk where the mortar shells are being shot, and the character is sprinting the entire way, and you could see in the background different groups or different troops that are being blown up, and you're watching him like literally in the middle of a war, like just feeling all the emotion of like, wow, like I'm gonna die, and I'm just sprinting because that's the only action I can take. And I think, to your point, George, what we're saying is that in the fight scene, when you are continuously seeing the character and you're not being pulled away to watch somebody's reaction to blood being spilt or to like get a different angle, you feel like all the grunts, the lack of real dialogue that Keanu brought to this, like I can kind of almost justify it and say it. This is technically a fourth film, but unlike every other film where you think about Star Wars and it's like, oh, it's months later, or it's years later in certain cases. You know,
it's next day.
This is like, oh, this happened in 7 days. Let's put it that way. And so for him to be like, all right, and that's his line, or like, yeah, like that's like, I'm exhausted.
So.
I was telling these guys while we were watching, I'm like, I'm exhausted just looking at this. Yeah. Like this guy's just throwing the gun, like, oh my god, please die.
Well, dude, this whole movie was just super tiring. Honestly, like by the end of the film, I was so exhausted because it was a full 3 hours. It was a full 3 hours, and he's just taking beating after beating. The only thing I will say though, like every time he got beat, he just get back up like nothing happened.
Yeah.
So, and I kept thinking about that. It's like, dude, you're fucking exhausted. Like, how are you still good enough for like a gunfight?
The adrenaline of like, I did like that his adrenaline was high enough while he still had to fight. So like, if he had a guy in front of him, he got up quick. But the second that he had taken out all the guys in a room,
he had a second to breathe.
He was like, he was limping finally. And he was like, oh my god, like this hurts. Like I can ignore all the pain in the world while I have to take out this guy in front of me. But
actually, sorry, go ahead.
No, I think this is a great segue into saying what is your favorite scene.
Wow. Hey, aren't I the host? I was just about to say that. I should have interrupted you.
He looks like
I know.
You know what,
motherfucker? I'm sorry. I forgot this is your show.
You know what, Isaac? You start us off then. What's your favorite fight scene?
Hey, Isaac, you were host last week.
I was. I'm sorry. Maybe I'm still in the host mode.
All right. Look, we're both wearing green.
We are.
Listeners.
Yeah.
So
George is fucking up.
It's easy to confuse us.
There's some green out here somewhere.
Okay. So my favorite scene would be when he excuse me for the cough.
Oh God, there's a cough.
Yeah. Would have been when he went into the building in France. Like it's about like 3/4 of the way in where he barely starts his ascension to go to the church to go fight the Marquis or have the duel. I think that was because all the drone shots that were overhead.
Oh, the overhead shots.
And it was like one single shot, and it was also very intricate. Like there wasn't a lot of cuts. The only time would be a cut when they were facing him, when he was about to take another section of the building. But it was a continuous, for the most part, action.
Wait, that's the sequence where they were using those shotgun shells with the fire, right?
Dragon's breath.
Dragon's breath.
Oh my god,
yeah, that was crazy.
Like I think it's a different perspective on an action film instead of just having the first person POV, but you're getting an omniscient. So you see him coming, you see him reacting, you see him moving.
You kind of see just how good of a marksman he is, because it's like you look at him and he's like he knows that they're turning the corner, but it's like from our view he's like, how the fuck does he know? He's just that good. Like he's
anticipating
his environmental
everything.
And
awareness.
I think that's such a good point, because I feel like, you know, there's always the argument of when you're third person or first person point of view, like just over the shoulder kind of cam, like any one of these Call of Duties, like we'll give you exactly what we're talking about. But it's like you really think like really there's not just like 5 people behind that guy he just shot that are ready to shoot him. But in this case, like you see because you're able to see two rooms. You're able
Yeah.
to see the room that John Wick is fighting in. You're able to see the stairs where the next team of people is climbing, ready to take him on. You're seeing people set up for him, and you're seeing him kind of use his skill and being like, if I were me, you know, in my position, I'm gonna take this route, and if I were them trying to shoot me, I anticipate that they're gonna be here,
That I'm gonna be dead.
and that this is how my best reaction is. Like,
Yeah.
this is my best course of action. This is how I'm gonna defend. Like, you could see in real time, he had to think about it. Like, I loved when, like, how fast paced it was too. Like, it wasn't slowed down. I think there was part of that scene too where they jump on the kitchen table and they're about to shoot him, and he like shoots the guy, grabs his gun, and turns around and shoots everybody else in that
Yeah.
room.
Oh yeah.
Like, it was just phenomenally shot.
Yeah, and it was, and I think it was just like something we don't see in movies, like
Yeah.
that overhang, like
That's I feel like that's mostly a video game mechanic. So I know this was inspired by some sort of video game. I remember seeing a name out there, but I can't remember. But yeah.
Rainbow Six.
I mean, it kind of
Maybe.
reminds me honestly of like a Diablo. Diablo,
Yeah.
those games.
it
were
looked like
shot
it looked like a
overhead.
like a tabletop game, as us like
Yeah.
looking over our character and being able to move him or
Yeah.
the way he would react, and it was different, and that's something that
And
Like-
it looked like it was one continuous shot too.
Yeah.
So if it
Yeah.
was, holy shit, like they probably retook that. how
I
many
think
fucking
him
times?
actually being out of breath was actually him being out of breath in the
Yeah.
because
Bro.
he.
Well, I heard Keanu did 90% of his stunts.
Dude, like you gotta think, like, how many times did he do that jujitsu move where he flips him over so he can
Yeah,
like take
yeah.
on?
Oh
he
yeah,
did-
there was a lot of jujitsu in this one that I really
Absolutely.
enjoyed. But I also think this is why it's the final chapter, bro. Keanu's getting old, man. I don't know if he
His
could handle
knees
this
are
much
shot.
work. Bro, I was like, holy shit. And then you said 90% or 90%?
Yeah, I read
my
that somewhere.
That
God.
scene where he
90%.
jumps off a building, that was him.
Oh my.
No, I'm just kidding. I don't know.
Wait, all right.
Tom Cruise is trying to be Keanu so bad. Like,
I feel like it's the other way around.
Is there, dude? Tom
Cruise
Cruise
is
has been
killing
doing it for
it.
years.
Nah,
man.
Tom Cruise
bro.
is Keanu's
I
gonna
know,
hold
I
off
know.
on the side of an airplane while it's moving.
Yeah.
But George, what was your favorite action scene?
dude, I'd probably have to go with the scene where he meets, I think it was the Germans, right? And then he's trying to redeem himself and get a family crest.
Oh yeah.
And
It was the
then,
Russians.
Were they Russian?
Yeah,
I
they were
had,
Russian.
I had said Russian, but Alexis said they were German. Was that was it the fat guy?
That was a fat guy.
Okay, so
Um,
I liked when he met the Russians, but then went to go kill the fat guy, the
Kill us.
German.
You know what? Maybe we shouldn't say fat. We should say large
He had a
guy.
fat suit on. He literally had a fat suit.
Scott Adkins in fact too.
His name is
Yeah.
Killa. All right.
Killa.
All right, Killa. So basically, he goes to meet Killa.
Looks like one
And
of the
then
lead singers from Rammstein.
He's
He did.
Yeah, he did.
He did.
And he's literally walking into the fucking wolves den, right? He's like, he knows that it's like, yo, this motherfucker's gonna try to kill me. He's got all his people with him, whatever. And then like, I just liked how high the stakes were. And then one, obviously, like that whole scene with them playing fucking poker, 5-hand poker. It was insane because it kind of put it in perspective. Like he lost as soon as he went in. Like he's like, I have fucking 5 of a kind, and it's like that
I
doesn't.
mean, he was a cheater.
Yeah, exactly. He's like that. Even though like I'm cheating, he's like I win because it's like we're playing on my terms. And then that I was like, oh shit. And then he's like trying to kill him, but then somehow he like Donnie Yen and then the other dude. What was the guy with the dog?
The tracker. Oh, it was Mr. Nobody, right?
Mr. Nobody. Yeah.
Yeah.
So then they all team up against the German guy because it's like even though they're all trying to kill John, it's like somehow they all ended up.
What's interesting
against it.
about that scene too, that it's a direct like kind of comparison to how he did to get out of the life. Because remember, he went into the same thing to get out of the life in the first movie. He had to kill all these people by himself that nobody thought he was gonna do, and that's essentially what this chick. What was her name? The leader
Russian?
of the Russians.
Oh, Katya.
Yeah, it's Katya, and she's
My
like,
mom's name.
he's like, you gotta do the exact same thing to get back in. You gotta go get revenge for my father's death. And she knew like he's not gonna do it. He goes and does it, you know.
Okay, but you know what? That's my question. Everybody fucking underestimates John Wick, but then when they talk about him, it's like the Baba Yaga.
He can do everything.
Well,
except
Like,
not-
why are you underestimating this
Dude,
guy?
I think because
You know.
one-on-one, he's like the best combatant. But like they think like we got numbers.
It's because the Baba Yaga is just a myth. It's literally folklore. It's a story. So they don't believe it because they've never experienced it. But once they meet him one-on-one, they're like, holy
Oh, yeah,
shit,
this
he's
is
the
They
real.
real
don't even
This
have a
is real.
chance to meet him.
I
He's
kind of
just-
feel like it
he's
also
dead.
plays him a little bit.
Yeah.
Like I feel like when he hears like impossible task, he's like, I'm gonna get it done. And it's
Yeah.
almost like I don't know if John Wick has a chip on his shoulder. It doesn't feel like it necessarily. I don't think that's the right way to phrase it, but I think it's one of those things that
No, I think he does because he's like
He's
I'm
got
gonna
something to
I'm gonna
prove.
go kill him.
That
Like
this is
that's
him.
he's always
Yeah.
said it. Like I will go kill you. Like,
But I
even
think for him, it doesn't feel like it's an ego thing. I think it's just a factual statement that you're gonna die.
This is who the fuck I am.
Yeah, like, this
I'm
is
the
what
Baba
I do.
Yaga. I'm the
That's true.
boogeyman. Look me in the eyes.
Gotcha.
Yeah, but that sequence and
Yeah.
then it going into the club scene, holy shit! Like that was insane.
Damn it, you took mine.
My bad. I guess I can only choose one. No, but also the fact that
That's
like
okay.
everybody at the club, like he's killing motherfuckers left and right,
They're
and they're
just
still
dancing.
dancing. Like
that
not
was
worried
that
about
took
it.
me out of it a little bit. I love that scene, but that took me out of it.
I thought it was
Yeah.
hilarious, but then also I realized when you're at a club, you're not paying attention to the fucking.
But there was
And
multiple
you're on
times
drugs.
that
Yeah.
I wanted to give it that benefit of the doubt. But there were times, I remember there was a scene where a woman was dancing, turned to see John Wick shoot and execute a guy, and was like, "Oh shit!"
This is part
and
of the show.
It's all
kept
part of the
going.
show, baby. Yeah.
And I was like, "Hey, maybe, honestly, maybe they're like, damn, like this killer guy, his clubs are
Killing.
phenomenal.
Yeah.
He's literally killer up in this, you know."
Yeah.
Well, you know, it's funny because all that stuff that reminded me a lot of Blade. Like, remember with,
Yeah.
Yeah, I got
with the,
Blade,
The
yeah, yeah.
vampires,
the
and
vampire
yeah.
scenes? But at least there, if he killed a vampire, everybody would be like, they start running or like hissing at him.
absolutely.
Motherfuckers were twacked out, tweaked
Yeah.
out. They were on the wind.
It was what was it, Berlin? Like, come
Yeah.
on, bro.
Yeah,
You already know
yeah.
those motherfuckers. What time was it? Like 4 in the morning, 5 in the morning? They're still going? Like that.
And you know, there's the reality of drugs and that, so maybe
Yeah.
they're on something enough that they don't even react. Eventually, they reacted, which was good. That brought me more back into that sequence to like it.
Yeah, yeah. What about you, Nick?
You know, I liked the little bit of comedic relief that was also shown in the stair sequence when he was coming up to the church to do his duel.
Oh, yeah.
And I also like that kind of, you know, it allowed all the characters to come together in the end and say, hey, you know what, even if we're technically on opposite sides, like even Kane, who was played by Donnie Yen, if I not love him, great martial artist, but you could tell for him, he was like, I am not going to lose to John Wick on a technicality of him not making it to Sunrise. This is a friend, so I'm going to help him. And what I liked about that sequence more than anything is, in my opinion, like the blind character being a good marksman was definitely the most far-fetched concept for me. The blind character being better at swordplay, I could believe that more to some extent, because even a lot of his moves seemed very quick and erratic. Like when he was using that sword, he used a very light sword. He used something that he can kind of like twirl around really fast to feel where the weapon is of his enemy.
Yeah.
And even his stance when he was fighting against the Continental from Osaka, I forget his name.
KG. KG was his name.
Koji.
Or Koji. There you go, Koji.
So when he was fighting against Koji, like you could see the way that he was angling his sword, anticipating Koji's katana, was very much like, this is the best defensive stance that I can take. I don't know where you're coming from because I'm blind.
You know what's interesting is this is the second time playing a blind swordsman,
Yeah,
because he played him in Rogue One, right?
yeah. He played.
Oh,
He used a
that's
bow.
right.
I think
No,
I didn't. That was the one thing that kind of frustrated me with Donnie Yen's kind of like character, because why make him blind?
He's too OP, bro. It's IP, man. Like, come on.
Yeah,
They gotta
but-
nerf him somehow.
Yeah, but like you gotta like it just like a lot of the anticipation that he was doing didn't make sense for a blind guy. It doesn't matter how good you are at like doing like hearing out the noises or whatever.
That's hard to see too. Like, are you telling me that while gunshots are whizzing by your ear,
Yeah.
you can hear the direction of a step 10, 20 feet away from you?
Yeah, no.
Like, that was, again, I agree with you. Like
I and that kind of like made the movie worse for me because of it's still a
Whoa.
good movie and still watch
Whoa.
it, but like
Maybe
that kind of it made the audience kind of really dumb, because I'm like, this guy's really can see shit.
Okay, well, let's just say that. I mean, John Wick as a whole is already over the top and fucking crazy.
Yeah,
so
you-
I'm
you
like,
should've done
if
a
you
long
think
time
that,
ago.
if you think that's the most far-fetched concept in this movie, then I mean, like, why you wouldn't like the whole movie to
it
begin
kind of
with?
is, because look,
like,
the only thing that comes close to being far-fetched is John Wick's durability to keep on fighting. But that
yeah, the
but
suits in this one, in every other film, that he had a bulletproof suit. He got shot,
It still
and he
hurt.
would go, like basically
Well,
like,
yeah.
"You
Or just like
broke
any
my rib.
yeah, like
any
it-
sort of
this-
bulletproof armor, like
Yeah.
you're gonna feel it.
Like
Yeah.
the fact that he was able to hold his suit up and you wouldn't see the fabric still at least bounce towards him.
Yeah.
Like it wasn't stiff. It was loose enough that he can move.
And
it.
everybody else is doing that too.
Yeah.
The Continental.
That was the only thing that took.
But that's consistency. You know, that maybe the suit is phenomenal. It is great. It does all this shit. But like Donnie Yen's character being blind and being able to
Well,
actually hit John Wick at the end of the movie when they were dueling and accurately so he wouldn't hurt him right off the rip.
but Donnie Yen was also not blind for the entire time. He got turned blind by that.
No, he was blind the
He was
whole.
blind from the
No,
beginning.
he wasn't.
In the movie.
In the movie, they
He
said
said
that-
he gave up his eyes.
Yeah, he gave up his eyes.
But that
so
was
that means,
prior.
That was prior to
That was
the
prior
movie
to
starting.
the movie starting. So when you
No, I know, but that means at a certain point he had eyesight and he was already a skilled marksman. So I feel like that makes it a little bit more believable that he could translate into a blind one if he was already skilled when he had his eyesight.
Yeah, he didn't start at 0.
Exactly.
Once he lost his eyes.
But the thing is that it's still far fetched, even though you were a perfect marksman back in the day, right? You were great. Your direction of where exactly he is a little crazy because it made it seem like Donnie Yen and John Wick at the end planned the series of events that they wanted. Like, okay, we're gonna do we're gonna get to the third shot. John Wick isn't gonna fire his gun.
No,
And-
yeah, it definitely seemed that way. But I
Okay.
feel like that's what kind of like.
But that's what.
that
But
was
that's
the point.
the only reason that the Marquise came up is because he saw it was a lethal shot to the kidney. If not, they would have kept on shooting. Like that was his only
Oh,
instinct.
shoot.
You
Just
know-
skip it to the end, bro.
Yeah. I
Well,
mean,
well, yeah, but
Yeah, slow it
I
down.
wanna
Ahead,
I
we're
wanna
jumping
come back
ahead.
to that.
No, yeah, I want to come back
Put
to
a
that
pin
because
on it.
I have some rebuttals for that because I feel like that was
No.
intentional. But
But
all right,
what
we'll talk about
What
it. a
about
little bit
you?
more.
We never got a chance to talk. Well, actually, just to put it back, yeah, I love the stair fight scene because it allowed everybody to showcase. Honestly, this is not the first time. I think a lot of I feel like there was a war movie, like kind of like a Hacksaw Ridge or Jarhead kind of movie that showed the use of military dogs. I know John Wick 3 did a great job of using military dogs, like the concept of just a trained assault dog kind of deal. But I love any time that you see the training that goes into them. I love the focus of those animals. I mean, I'm a dog lover, of course,
Yeah.
but in general, it was such a fun like addition to it to have. Still, if you're not going to be able to have Halle Berry's character in it, which it makes sense.
Which, they should have used her. I'm
It
just
makes
saying.
sense that she wasn't. She was only helping John for the fact
Just
that
a little bit
they
of
had a
Halle Berry,
marker.
Yeah, just
Just
a
a
quick
little.
take. Just
I mean, you know,
reference back to it, flashback.
Yeah,
I don't know,
just
Give us
whatever.
an image. I don't know.
just a couple. But yeah, that fight scene was really fun. It was really cool, and it was a good way to wrap it up and bring all the characters together prior to the final duel.
Yeah, good point. I do want to ask something. I remember when we first saw the trailer for this movie, when Donnie Yen's character was introduced, we saw him like slicing bullets with his sword. I remember they were shooting at him, and he was like, just the bullets were ricocheting off his sword. But I
Yeah.
didn't see that in the movie.
I actually think I heard it because
So,
there were
like,
certain.
am I tripping?
There were certain scenes where he would swing his fucking whatever he was. I don't know if it was a katana or a sword or whatever, and you could hear the bullets deflecting off
Yeah.
it. So I don't know if I just misheard it or if that was actually what was happening. But
I don't think so. I don't recall.
I don't recall.
I don't recall seeing that.
I feel
Yeah.
because our
was he just
audience,
dodging bullets the entire time.
Yeah, that's
Like,
what we're saying.
yeah, because the audience in our theater, like they were very reactive to the film. So I feel like if we saw something like that, they would be like, oh,
Dude, the guy behind us just started
Oh
screaming
my
and one of us.
God.
I was just like, bro,
Jesus.
stop riding his
It
dick so
felt
hard.
like
Relax.
it was an Avengers film. Like I was like, as much as I love John Wick, I love action.
Dude, I
Those
love
not
movies,
Avengers.
but I'm just kind of like, hey man, just keep it.
This guy,
keep it to
this guy
yourself,
was like
you know?
30, acting like
Yeah.
he's a fucking.
he
12-year-old.
dropped his popcorn all over George.
Did he?
Popcorn
No.
soda. I'm just like, yo, what the
He
fuck?
was so
Some sticky
excited.
substances hit the back
Yeah.
of your head.
Some juices.
All right, we're
What?
getting off topic.
Oh
Let's-
yeah, all right. Let's talk about me, okay?
Yeah.
Let's talk about my
Let's
opinions.
see what the host. Thinks.
But no, I agreed with George. I think it's the same scene for me. It's that nightclub scene. It was really similar to what they did in the Batman, in the Penguins.
Yes,
Yes.
actually.
And
That's very true.
yeah.
I mean, I love that though, and I doubt that they were influenced or that John Wick was
Hey, man,
influenced
you
by the
never know.
Batman. Well, I know that this
Actually,
was filming.
there's a lot of club scenes apparently where people just fucking just start shooting up the place or
Oh,
fucking
God.
fighting. It's crazy.
Yeah. But what's interesting is that so the director got a lot more movie to do this fourth film, and I think when that happens, they usually try to go bigger in terms of like, story,
You said
like
lot
what's a
more
bigger
what?
threat.
A lot more budget.
Yeah, a lot more money. What's going on over here?
I'm a little thirsty,
A
man.
little thirsty.
Some
Okay.
water.
It's quenched over there.
But instead of going bigger in terms of like plot, he just really just had to put the money into like the sets and the scenes, and so like
And
that
it really shows. Like they're
yeah,
phenomenal.
I mean, there were waterfalls in that club, like everywhere.
Yeah.
I mean, how much water were they using? Keanu like fighting all those thugs.
How does he
in
always
the
end up in
rain.
the rain or like with like wet hair?
Dude,
it's
it's-
like
it's-
it's
it's
just
just
in
great.
his contract.
He
Yeah,
looks
it's
so
literally
good.
in his
Sexiest
contract.
look, dude. That's his sexiest
yeah, no,
look.
I mean,
can't disagree with
and
that.
also Killa's death when he fell
Oh.
like three
Crack.
stories right on his head. That was
just
insane.
punching
And then
him
the
in the mouth.
crunch.
Yeah.
Dude, and then he had the way that John Wick could prove that he was dead, that
Yeah,
he took off
punching
his
him in the
front
face.
tooth. The front
Yeah.
And he didn't just take it off.
Dude,
He
he punched
repeatedly
the shit
punched
out
his
of him.
jaw until it was loose enough to
Yeah.
pull.
Yeah.
I was like, that's
And then his
fucking
face when he's dead is just there like.
He was smiling.
Yeah,
he was
yeah.
smiling.
It looks like George passed out after
Yeah.
a good...
I can confirm.
Dude,
yeah.
but that was a great performance by Scott Adkins, who's like a very well-known martial artist. And
Dude, I didn't even realize that was him.
Dude, yeah,
Yeah.
he's done a lot.
Incredible.
The fat
He was-
suit
he-
just fucking.
in
And
a
you know
large
what?
suit.
Like his
The large
his
suit.
like,
It's literally called a fat
It's,
suit.
it's a
Alexis.
fat suit, yeah. It's a
but
fat
his
suit.
Because
his
he's
positive
ripped.
demeanor.
He is ripped,
Yeah.
boys.
Scott Adkins' demeanor, because he has had roles. It's not like he hasn't, but he always plays a tough guy, somebody who's strong, somebody who obviously is a martial artist. This guy was a goofy, weird, like strange,
Yeah.
like loved cards.
Like
had
that's
a bunch
that's a
of card
character
tricks.
actor.
Yeah.
Yeah, that
Honestly,
was
I think
so
that was one of
fun.
my favorite characters other than Donnie Yen.
I think
Yeah.
it was the only guy that actually showed up to act.
Yeah.
Because
Well,
Donnie
yeah.
Yen
No,
was
nobody's
just-
acting.
like nobody else, they were just fight scenes.
Donnie
and-
Yen kind of came off a little arrogant for me. I don't know. I mean, like,
Well,
yeah, he has a right to be.
He backed it up, dude.
no, I know,
Yeah.
but
He technically-
he's over there eating ramen in the kitchen scene. You remember? Was
That was
everybody-
funny.
Oh,
He's like, this
yeah.
ain't my
Hilarious.
fight. He's like, I'm not. He's like, I'm
He's,
not.
I'm here to kill John Wick, not these fucking
Yeah,
guys.
Yeah,
he's like,
it's
I'm,
like,
I'm not here to
this is-
take out Osaka.
But
But I mean, I was actually gonna add too, because you had mentioned the Batman and
Yeah.
I like that. I hadn't really thought of that, and I think I had one thing I would have liked to see is, as much as you can tell, they really took kind of focus in on just action sequences, fight sequences. Like, this guy's name is the Baba Yaga. He is the boogeyman, and the boogeyman doesn't come at you necessarily always the same way. And it would have been nice to see him employ like stealth.
yeah,
It would have been nice to see him employ.
You just
like,
like, I don't
fear.
give like I don't give a fuck. I'm just gonna kill you. Like
Yeah,
that's-
people are terrified of John Wick, and it would have been something that I don't feel like he personally like. And again, maybe it's part of like the whole he's exhausted at this point.
Mhm.
He's just gonna kill you. There's no time to think and strategize. There's no time to do anything but kill.
Well,
Yeah,
that's
I don't think. Sorry, go ahead.
that's my thing. What I was saying earlier is I feel like his character in this film was just reacting to things happening to him, because when he was in Japan, he wasn't ready when those guys came up at him. Like,
Yeah.
he was just like, oh, you know.
Well,
yeah,
no,
got
I
it
don't
done.
think. No, he was ready because he's John Wick. He's always ready. He's
Yeah,
like,
but I feel like if you're ready, you should prepare instead of just standing on
Well,
a rooftop.
He's
Well,
having
but look
tea
at-
over
but-
there.
yeah,
with
yeah.
fucking
Having tea,
when
yeah,
his
head
friend
of
told him
the-
like, "Hey, are you carrying?"
With
He's
the
like,
daughter.
"Yeah, always, bro." Like,
yeah,
No,
I got a gun.
But also, like, I think the reason he couldn't be stealthy is because, like, literally, like, the whole world's eyes are on him. Like, he literally fled to Japan, and still people are fucking trying to find him. And then, like, after they put his bounty at, like, what was
It
it at,
started,
like,
like,
40
20
million?
it went
Oh, no,
up
it
to 40
started at
million
20.
towards the end of the
Yeah, yeah.
No, it
Which I
started
feel
at
like isn't that
20.
much.
Yeah, the
But
whole
we'll
world
see.
is literally out to get him. When he was in Berlin, holy shit. Like, he was in the streets, and he did not catch a fucking break.
We
Like,
didn't
Yeah.
talk about one of the. I think it's interesting that none of us really said. I think one of the most recognized fight sequences from just the trailers, which is the fight sequence that they did in the middle of traffic.
Oh yeah,
In
or
the middle of
another
France.
video game reference. This is a leapfrog thing.
Yeah,
You guys have
absolutely.
played leapfrog,
Yeah.
right? This was
I
that.
don't think that's what they
The
were trying to,
popular
come off as.
I don't-
I'm sure they got the idea
I
from it.
didn't like that scene at all because like it was one of the few like shots that was out openly in public, and nothing. There was like nothing that went into like there was like no added effect of cops coming in.
Well, I think that's
Yeah.
to your
Yeah.
point in the club. Nobody's reacting, and then
Yeah.
over here, nobody's reacting to
Going
people
to the
dying.
church. Nobody like you hear gunshots as you're seeing residential areas. You're not in the middle of a club where it's loud music. You're in the middle of a residential area at call it 5 to 6 a.m. in the morning, and you're telling me that much gunfire hasn't like not even a light turning on, like in the distance in the background. Like everybody's just quiet as a mouse. And I know that most people would probably react like, "Oh my gosh, we're terrified, we're staying still." But somebody would have screamed.
Yeah.
Somebody
Well,
would have done something.
I think that the scene in the club, maybe it would have taken some time to react. The sequence maybe took, 20, 30 minutes total. But I agree with Isaac on this one. In the fucking streets, like out in public, literally,
Yeah.
the cars kept coming for like a good 20, 30
They
minutes.
were running into
Nobody
people.
stopped. Yeah, people kept running over everyone. No one slowed down.
And
There
you're
wasn't a
telling me that
traffic
in the
jam.
middle,
like,
middle of France,
Yeah.
like at a famous ass church, there's like no fucking at barely
Bro,
sunrise.
I don't think there's any protective agencies in the entire John Wick universe. I didn't see a fucking cop and like.
Well, like,
And
there
you
was,
know-
in the first one, there was cops. The guy's like,
It would have been lovely if there was a scene where it showed the Marquis literally just calling the head of Interpol or whatever.
yeah, like,
Whatever.
he's like, for these next 10 minutes, don't
Yeah,
bother.
be like, there is no calls. There is no, there's no one to
Yeah.
And that would have been
Correct.
cool because it would have demonstrated
would've-
real power from the table.
be. It would have showed how
it would've
powerful
added
the
plot,
high table
yeah.
is.
They could have showed us
Absolutely.
like those suicide girls with the tattoos just making a call to police or something.
Yeah, just honestly,
The
even
girls
something
at
like
the-
that. Just saying
At the
like,
radio tower.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Because I mean, I'm sure there are people in the high table's influence extends to police.
Yeah.
I mean, they literally run the world. This is the Illuminati,
They destroyed the manager's hotel like
and that's
in New
a
York.
famous hotel in New York.
Yeah.
Demolition like this.
Yeah,
Like,
like in
I was
1
like, what
second.
the fuck?
And exactly, they showed how powerful they are. They show how far their reach extends to the point where they're not afraid of any pushback. It was very interesting that this whole film left out like everybody but the characters who were involved in this underworld kind of.
Yeah.
Even though we're saying, trust me, the movie was great.
Oh yeah,
We're-
these
we're-
are just nitpicks.
these- we're just
These are
being-
just
Yeah,
very.
we're looking
Yeah.
for things
Yeah.
that we would have wanted to
Yeah.
see
Yeah, but
or thought about. And
Speaking on looking for things, you mind if I move on to this next question?
go ahead, buddy.
All right.
Thank you very
hear it.
much.
Yeah.
I feel like there were a lot of really nice minor characters in the film, just brand new ones that were introduced, and even some old ones who got more of a spotlight. Well, especially thinking about Lance Reddick as Sharon, the concierge, who I mean, you guys know he passed away.
Just barely too, which is just
Yeah,
so
just
weird.
like days ago.
He died of a heart attack or something like that.
I have no idea.
natural
Okay.
causes, I know that.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it wasn't.
Well, it seems
Is that why they killed him off in the film, or was this
No,
like it was already?
He was already
They
dead.
finished the movie, and
I
then,
was actually recently reading that they mentioned that his death, the director had talked about how his death in the film was important because it needed to set a standard for how strong and powerful the Marquis and the High Table were from the get-go. I'm gonna kill somebody,
yeah, and
because
this guy was
of what you did.
Yeah, he was in the first 3 films. I think they were gonna do like a spin-off with him, showcasing like the youth of the manager or something like that.
Yeah.
And so yeah, it was really sad seeing him die in the film because I think he didn't see it coming. And
Well, I don't think anybody ever
short,
sees it.
no, but shortly before dying, they were even talking about death, and they said that one phrase about
What was he saying? Yeah.
God, what did he say? He's like, such is the way of life, or
Such is the
life.
way, or
Yeah.
such is life, or
such
something
is
like
life.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, it is what
Yeah.
it is.
And
And-
it's funny because Sharon
but
told
the-
him you will not die today.
Yeah,
I can tell you that.
yeah.
It's almost like he knew,
I'm gonna take this L for you. Like,
Yeah.
take it on the chin.
Yeah, so that was really tragic and even sadder based on what we know, because he actually did pass away, and he was a great actor. But little shout out.
He
to
did a
him.
lot of video game voiceovers. Too.
Yes, I think he was really big on Destiny, right?
Oh yeah,
The game.
Yeah.
Didn't he pass
game.
away while he was playing it?
I
heard
think
something
that
like
was the last thing he did.
Oh shit.
Well, no, that's how people found out he was dead because they figured out who his gamer tag was in the game or his character name, and he was in one spot for like 48 hours.
No
way.
Imagine
Yeah.
one of the gamers called him.
So
They
right
were
now,
hey,
like
check
right
in
now,
on
if
you.
you still play Destiny, I think you can still find his character in game logged in. They haven't turned off the game
That's
yet.
like
So people
that's
people
sad,
like
man.
Yo, his wife.
people
just
have
fucking
people
shut
have
up,
gone
bro.
to his like actual were able to figure out how to get into his server, and they're like doing memorials for him and stuff.
that's
Yeah.
that's lovely.
Yeah. Well,
So,
he was a
like,
great guy. Is from what it looks like, and he still has a bunch of other projects that are gonna be released
Oh, okay.
after.
Well,
So
yeah.
this is not the last time that we see him.
Check him out. Definitely.
I kind of feel bad for him because he was never a main character in any movie, even though he was such a good actor. He was
Anytime you saw him, I feel like
he was
No,
a
yeah, he
secondary.
did fantastic in John Wick. Like I feel like
Yeah.
playing the concierge.
Yeah.
I think he kind of did better than the manager, to be honest. Like I kind of cared more about the concierge than I did the LA
The manager
Yeah, me
became
too.
an adversary in the earlier ones. Remember, he's the one who shot John
Oh,
Wick off
that's
the roof
right.
at the end
Oh,
of
yeah,
Parabellum.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean, I understand why you dislike him a little bit because it felt like
I forgot about that.
Yeah.
I mean, like in this film, it seemed like he was with John from the get-go, but it's
Yeah.
kind of like you betrayed me, motherfucker.
Yeah. But so some other characters that we saw was Akira, which was the Koji's daughter, and she was pretty cool. I just wish there was more of her. I heard there was a post-credit scene involving her, but I really liked her presence in the movie. I don't know what you guys thought.
I didn't. I kind of I like the emotion that she brought. I just didn't think she was gonna get shot. So like,
that subway scene was
Yeah, they
was
kind of.
very
I feel like
nice.
they nerfed her a bit. Like she just got shot, watched her dad die,
And she had a
all
cool
this.
outfit,
Yeah.
you know.
I
Like
mean,
it
the
wasn't
bow and arrow
bulletproof?
kind of
Like you're telling me her
for
outfit couldn't have been bulletproof? John Wick can take like 30 fucking bullets to the chest, but like this chick takes one to the
Yeah.
side.
Well, you know, I feel like all the enemies in this movie were a lot more difficult to kill or
Yeah.
That's true.
But I feel like
Yeah.
if you're the concierge of a hotel of their hotel, you couldn't get something fully bulletproofed out.
See, but I also believe like the enemies were. It made sense because they were like armored. Like you could
Yeah,
physically
these
see that
guys-
they were.
I liked how they
it-
fought because of that. I
Yeah.
loved how they
in
were
Japan,
slow.
the enemies had like the cool like Oni mask.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
That
why.
was
So
super
they had
cool design.
everything
Armored
covered from
too.
Yeah,
head to toe.
armored.
See, but that made sense. I was like, oh, it makes sense these guys are bulletproof. Like you can clearly see that they have. But for John, I was kind of like, guys, like he just has on a suit. He's going like this the whole time,
Like a cape?
yeah, I was like, come on.
He's
I'm
Batman.
like nobody has good aim here but him. Like,
Yeah.
no headshots. All right. Cool.
What about I am Klaus?
Like kind of like the worst character. Like he just said that. Like he like basically John Wick but fat. Probably a cool dude. But
Well, he's a very famous a bouncer in Berlin apparently, and so since they were filming over there, they decided to include him, from what I understand. But yeah, I thought he was a funny little character in there.
Which one was
Yeah.
Klaus again?
He was the guy who kept
Literally
saying
said,
"I am Klaus"
and
and
like,
then punched
smack
John
the
Wick.
shit out of
He
He
him.
worked.
Yeah.
He worked for Katya, for the Russian
Okay.
head of the family.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think as far as I know your question was
I'm like, wait, did he die?
who we
I don't even remember.
liked as like overall side characters, you know,
Mhm.
and I think Akira was a great one for sure. Interestingly enough,
I like her father more.
I mean, of course, Koji
Koji went hard, man.
Yeah.
He
Koji
went-
was really good.
You know, I
mean,
feel bad for him, Hiroyuki Sanada, because he plays the same character
Yeah.
in
Yeah,
every
Bullet
fucking
Train.
movie.
Bullet
He,
Train,
he was
literally
in
the same
Bullet
exact
Train.
he's
guy.
the boss.
He was in the Wolverine as well.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh shit,
Is
that's
he
right.
here? I think was he in The Last Samurai with Tom Cruise?
Yeah, he was.
Justice for our boy Koji. He deserves better.
He
This
Yeah.
is
he does-
disrespectful.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, he was in the last. I get. He also he dies. I think he dies in most movies.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. It's ridiculous. I
He
don't.
always plays a
his
supporting role, and it's not like as a side character.
I bet
It's
he has
kinda-
better roles in Japan, but just
Hopefully.
the United States doesn't
But,
know how to use
Western
them.
In the United States, is generic
Yeah, it's
Japanese.
like, oh, he's
fighter.
Japanese. He's a samurai. We
yeah,
got him.
samurai. Fucking, I don't know.
Wait,
Yakuza,
wasn't he
whatever.
also in Endgame?
Endgame.
I don't
I'm pretty
recall.
sure in the beginning
Oh,
when Hawkeye as Ronin
Hawkeye
kills,
yeah, he was the.
he kills like a
Oh,
boss.
was he the bad guy? Yeah.
Yeah.
He was the
Yeah.
one that
Okay.
Ronin
I
killed.
Same
vaguely
shit.
remember that.
Same
Yeah,
shit.
yeah.
He could do better. He could do better.
Yeah.
No, I agree.
But another cool thing about this movie was that not only were there new characters, but like just the locations
Yes.
were so.
See,
nice.
that's kind of what I meant
Worldwide.
by world building. Like I felt
Yeah.
like it dove more into the different characters, their kind of backgrounds, the different parts of the world that are involved within this, whole underground, high table shit. So that's what I kind of felt like they expanded a lot more on.
Yeah, because
but-
God, there were just some like really beautiful shots in Japan. There's a shot of Keanu Reeves walking, and it's at night, and he's like right in front of like a cherry blossom tree, and just like the colors are so rich. And
How old do you guys think he is though?
who? Wick?
Kiyoshi,
Koji?
Yeah. Like the actual like character.
62.
Whatever age he looks like, -10.
Shit. Yeah, I don't know. He looks like 60.
Minus 10
I'm
or plus
60.
10?
-10. I mean, he's Asian, man. Asian
61
don't
maybe?
age.
Wait, so you're saying that if he looks like he's 50?
He was also in Rush Hour.
Whoa. Whoa.
Alexis, get it together.
Oh,
over there. What are you
God.
doing, bud?
Oh wait. He was in Rush Hour. He was Jackie Chan's brother.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's
Damn,
Is
right.
that Rush Hour 2?
So he's been doing
That
it
was
for
in
a
Rush
minute,
Hour
huh?
3.
Yeah, he was in The Last Samurai, Mortal Kombat, 47 Ronin.
Oh, yeah, he was a
Mortal
Scorpion.
Kombat. He was Scorpion.
Scorpion.
Yeah.
Right. Oh my
47,
gosh.
another movie that he did with Keanu, 47,
47
Ronin.
Ronin. That was.
Uh,
I never actually watched that one.
what? That's a
Yeah,
good
no, I
movie,
should
dude.
probably get to it.
It's
Yeah,
like one-
I
I own
agree
it.
though. I think Koji was by far one of the best side characters
Yeah.
in this one. I think the one side character that I mentioned I was shocked wasn't in this one was the Educator.
apparently he was also
Oh, yeah,
in the first. He was in the first John Wick movie too.
What? He
Yeah.
was?
That's what I Google says.
What the hell? Which?
Follow up on that while we talk about this.
Yes, but
alright?
the Educator, if you guys don't remember, came out in John Wick Chapter 3 Parabellum. They were the character that basically was set to reap havoc or to kind of judge John Wick based on him killing Santino inside the concierge hotel. they were the ones who doubled the bounty on him. He was 7 million, and then it became 14 million, and he became excommunicado. He was not allowed in anywhere of the premises, and that's when it starts off where it says basically you have an hour to settle your affairs, and then everything's live, and everyone will come for you. Well, they were a threat.
Yeah. So wait. So that character was not killed in the third one.
No,
I feel
there
like
was-
I
they-
can't remember.
So the end of the
last
third
two
film,
movies, honestly.
if you recall,
Yeah, I'm gonna brush up on him. I
so
haven't
the
seen
end
him
of
in a
the
while.
third film, how it comes to a play or a close is if you recall, Winston, who is the manager, right? The manager, the concierge, and John are all in the hotel, and they're basically like rain fires happening on them, and they go to the basement, grab guns, and basically stand firm. Then they call a parley, right, which basically means a ceasefire.
Parlay.
They go to the rooftop, and basically they're talking about like, well, what are we doing here? The educator is basically saying, what's going on? That's when Winston says, well, I want to show fealty to the high table. I still feel like myself as the manager has always done what I can. And so that's when he decides to turn his gun onto John and shoots him off the building.
Which is where he like drops like
Where he drops, five stories,
stories.
Yeah.
hits like 2 things on the way down. Again, I'm sure
Yeah.
Keanu did that stunt without anything, Tom Cruise would have done it, so Keanu had to.
Yeah.
But that's where it ended with her character, right? And that's where this whole thing started, where all of a sudden, if you remember, Winston's character, the manager, he was like, what are you guys talking about? Like, I shot John Wick. He's like, and that's when the Marquis told him you didn't kill him. So that doesn't mean anything to me. Like, you tried to show fealty to me,
But you failed.
Yeah. And failure
You're a
is
dumb son of a bitch.
It's not.
that's not results.
Yeah.
So, but that was my point. Like, I guess I understand if maybe like you just increase the big boss, and maybe it is overplayed where it just shows a sequence of like, oh, I'm gonna murder the person who couldn't get the job done. So maybe the agitator was just killed off screen kind of deal, and that's just the assumption we're supposed to make. But I mean, I saw a lot of people online too, basically saying like, I really hope that somebody kills this person, because the entire film they were talking up how John Wick is a nobody and they're going to get it done, similar to the Marquis.
Yeah.
But in this one, we actually got the closure of the Marquis dying. There's no closure of like, well, what happens to this person? Is this person didn't decide to hunt after John Wick? Did they get killed by the
Actually,
high
I
table?
want to talk about the Marquis because as a villain, I wasn't really a huge fan.
You know what? Me neither. I really like Bill Skarsgård.
Yeah.
He usually plays a really great.
He was really good in
antagonist.
Barbarian and his
Yeah.
It's.
He's fantastic usually, but for this one, I just didn't see him being up to par with John Wick. Like I didn't feel like he was
wasn't supposed to
intimidating.
be. I think he was just intellectual.
He just looked like a piece of shit.
I mean,
Like,
I
it looked like he just
his suits
inherited
were
the
fucking
position
rocking
from like
though.
his
Like
dad.
that. I was like,
remember
yo.
his glitter suit at the end?
Yeah.
No, it's because it's bulletproof, bro. It's embedded with metal. No,
it's
I don't
not
know,
glitter.
but hey, those 3-piece suits, like
That motherfucker was bedazzled.
He rocked the shit out.
Some of them were hot. Some of
Jazzled,
them were
too.
hot. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I think he
Not
just.
a
It
good
looks
villain.
like he just inherited the position from like a family member.
He was
His
just
father,
he was a
too.
bitch, man.
Yeah.
But I mean, I did like that all of a sudden he wasn't great at fighting. I think that is overdone in movies where somebody who has not fought the entire movie is all of a sudden the best adversary.
Yeah,
martial
Yeah,
arts
because he
wise.
had Kane doing everything.
Well,
for
no,
him.
but
Yeah.
the thing is, he kind of did show that when he tricked Mr. Nobody to when he put the knife in his
But
hand.
that's tricking, man. That's not
But
fighting.
that wasn't like that was something that was just fast reflexes. He knew what he was gonna do.
He's just being a dick.
But that was like it wasn't like all of a sudden he was the best marksman, like you said.
Yeah.
We made Kane do it. He made Kane be the guy who was the first chair.
and then he fucked up by assuming that John Wick was over.
Yeah, and I like that his arrogance got to him
Yeah.
at the end.
But that was a perfect end to that son of a bitch.
Yeah.
'Cause
I
just-
thought it was fantastic because it played the part. I mean, it played the fact that he was so arrogant the entire movie, and
Yeah.
he's like he thought he was
Well,
above it all.
even the manager
then-
right before he died was like, "You arrogant
Yeah,
prick."
Yeah, he's like laughing at him. He's like, you're too stupid to realize you're already
Dumb
dead.
son of a bitch.
Yeah.
Oh my, I love that. I was
That shit
like,
was,
yeah.
that shit was hilarious.
And dude, props to the sound guy because I mean that final shot of him killing him, it was nice and crisp.
The entire
all through
movie
the
was
theater.
Yeah.
crisp. That
It was-
sound was insane.
Yeah.
That's probably why they couldn't afford good acting. They were just like, we're gonna do everything
Yeah.
physically,
Visuals
shot,
and sound,
yeah.
just like
on
fucking
point.
tip top.
No, absolutely.
God, I mean, there's just what else is there to talk about?
Well, let's go back to the end scene here because Isaac was saying that he didn't like the fact that they kind of made it seem like they set it up John and
Well, it did
Johnny
because
Depp.
like if you made it like they were talking before they got.
No, I think that was the whole point though. Like, think
Yeah,
about
they
it. The
could've
first
said
shot that happened, they shot each other in the fucking shoulder. Like,
Oh,
you think
yeah.
one of
But
them
you
didn't
know-
know they could have killed one another?
Well,
like, they had
you know,
way
I
better
feel
aim
like
than that.
throughout the movie they were kind of establishing that Kane's like he's kind of a good guy.
Yeah,
In the
he's
beginning,
not
in
so-
Japan,
that-
he wasn't killing anybody.
That's why. So I think they were playing chicken.
he was
'Cause
just knocking people out.
they were literally playing chicken. I think at the end because
Yeah.
he was like, "John, kill me," and then he's like, "No, you kill me," because they're
That's
like,
what I was gonna say.
So
They're
they're
buddies.
literally
In
going
my
back.
opinion, I think that one of the things that one of the ways I'd like to think that this actually happened
Yeah.
was that Kane gave up, and he didn't know if John was going to shoot him in the end when they were only 10 paces away from each other.
I think
And
John
he
did it
just
on purpose.
No,
Yeah.
well, John purposely obviously didn't shoot because he was anticipating that maybe Kane might react.
See,
that
that's
way.
why he shot Kane first, and then like Kane is like, all right, he's either gonna kill me, go for the kill shot, or I should try to kill him. But that's what Keanu wanted because he didn't shoot back.
Yeah.
So obviously now it seems like, oh, Kane is actually trying to kill him,
Yeah.
and John is like, yes, this is exactly what I want. So the Marquis can fucking pull this bullshit,
Yes.
And I don't have to
him.
kill my buddy.
So that's why I'm like, it was all a setup, but it was done between both of them the way that they wanted it to. So obviously, yeah, it did seem like they were
Yeah.
kind of like beating around the bush, but it was intentional. So I thought that scene was like fantastic. I was like, yeah.
And I think there's so many ways to. I like scenes where interpretation is different because honestly, one angle that I started thinking about was like, what if even if they didn't get a chance to talk about it, what if it was just actually Kane giving up and saying, "I'm just not going to kill John. He's been through
Yeah.
enough, and you know what? He had to lose somebody because of all this life. After all of this, he lost the person that mattered most to him, and now I'm going to rip the last bit of life that he has away from him." you
But
know?
I don't like your not to sound fucked up, but that doesn't really make sense because John lost his wife
He called you a
out of,
bitch.
out of like cancer,
Yeah, it's okay.
and you know he
Let me
won
understand.
his freedom the first time. He lost his wife, and it was all started because of his dog.
And his dog.
Yeah,
And-
but
and-
King,
and then
King
the
had
subs-
more to lose because he still had his daughter.
No, I
John
know,
didn't
but-
have his wife or his daughter anymore,
I know,
so
but
it
like,
wouldn't make
I-
sense for him to want to.
Oh well, they made that point that Kane has what he has
has
something
all
to
three.
live for, something to die for,
Some,
and something to kill for.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And John Wick
And John
has none.
yeah. So I think this was just again I think there was a setup between the both of them where like, hey, we're gonna try to convince somehow the Marquis to do my job, which is Kane. That's why I think he's like, hey, do I have my freedom? Remember he asked him that.
Yeah.
And he was like, yeah.
Purposely asked him
exactly.
before
So
he.
that's
moved.
why John waited because as soon as he saw the guy loading it, he was just like, "All right, well, he's got his freedom. Let's
we
go."
go.
Yeah.
But regardless, I do like that. Unlike, for example, I mean, who doesn't? I know we talked about Tom Cruise jokingly enough. I'm gonna bring it back to Tom Cruise films. Every Mission Impossible film.
It's always great. They're always great.
They're
too.
always great, but they always
We gotta do those.
They
Yeah.
do the Mission Impossible, right? He does the thing,
Is
and
he
then
doing? Is he
and then
doing
it
one more?
recaps.
Yeah.
2 more.
It tells you exactly how he did it. It like it pulls the veil on the mystery of how did this happen. And in this case, it's up to your interpretation. Yes, they probably had some sort of dialogue, or maybe they're just so good that they realize, like George said, you missed the first one on purpose. So did I. You missed the second one on purpose. So did I. Maybe we can actually do something to finish this. And like, if there was unspoken dialogue of just like, we're such expert marksmen and we're purposely missing that we're gonna try something here. We're gonna do something. Like, we don't know, and I think that's the best.
I think I know, guys.
but, like,
Perfect headshots the entire fucking film. John Wick doesn't miss.
Straight
you think
up.
he finally did this time? I don't think so.
Yeah,
it was
no.
intentional for me.
Yeah, no,
That,
they-
all of that, them missing each other for 3 shots, I was like, yeah,
was a game.
100%. They did it on purpose, set it up this way. Somehow it worked out that he was able to kill the Marquis. I don't know if they planned that portion out, but I know that they didn't want to kill each other the first
Well,
two
I
shots.
think they did because they had like 2 minutes to talk about it. Because when they got the final time, John Wick got up to the stairs, and they could see the church.
Oh my God, we
You-
gotta talk about that.
What
Yeah,
a beautiful scene.
yeah. Like he was like, they got 2 minutes. We got 2 minutes to make it up the thing, and they did. And I feel like they talked about it then. And
Also,
that-
the fear in fucking the Marquise's eyes when he's like, "Oh fuck, he made it!" He's like, "Oh shit, I'm gonna have to face him." Well, I mean, I guess Kane, but still.
I want to talk about that staircase scene because like remember when he was falling?
Yeah,
and
he
wouldn't
Insane.
stop
That was my
falling.
favorite fight scene.
Somebody says like, oh, these guys like obviously saw Hot Rod because I don't know if you guys seen Hot Rod,
Yeah.
but when he trips over the cliff.
yeah, dude, he just kept
Yeah.
falling and falling.
I-
But the thing is, it didn't even feel like that much when he went up.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but it felt like a lot when he went
You were
down.
Going down.
I don't know what you said. That fucking staircase felt eternal. He was literally killing motherfuckers left and right, and they wouldn't stop coming. I was like, holy shit.
I don't know because he supposedly had 2 minutes to get back up the bitch, and he was able to get down the bitch, and like it was like a 3-minute scene of him just falling.
Yeah, no way he like went up that in 2 minutes.
Yeah.
No fucking way.
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
But you know what? I wonder if the filmmakers integrate at 2 minutes into the. Maybe we don't know because it felt dragged onto us already at
Yeah.
that point. But we never know. Maybe they did do like when he says, "John, how much time we got left?" We got 2 minutes. He's like, and then we're gonna get like, "Well, get your ass up there." I wonder if that like from that point to the end was 2 minutes.
We
I
gotta
know
buy the
sometimes-
movie. I'm gonna buy the movie.
Yeah,
I know
no,
I am.
I think if you actually do a count, like they're very attention to detail when it comes to these
Yeah.
movies. Because like there were certain scenes where I was like he kicked somebody off the stairs or something, and then I was like, he didn't even kill that guy. What the fuck? And then a second later, he goes back and shoots him, and I'm like, oh shit.
Oh yeah,
Like,
he double tapped a lot.
yeah, no, that's why. It's like I
That
thought that
is
there were
so
certain things that
good.
they missed, but they didn't.
Yeah.
It was like no, they were spot on with so many little details.
Did
that
you
I was
guys
trying to
even
pick
spot
up.
his own bike company, Apollo or something like that?
Oh, it was in there.
Yeah, that's.
Oh, was that one of the motorcycles?
I think
he
that was his
riding?
motorcycle company because I noticed it right away when they zoomed into like the name of the bike, and I'm like, dude, doesn't Keanu have a bike company? Like,
Oh,
this is
he
good
does,
promotion.
yeah.
That
This is
makes
good
sense.
promotion. I'm
I
like,
mean,
Hey, I mean,
Yeah,
he
did-
is John Wick.
bro, John Wick only rides Apollo. Come on, that's
Honestly,
Makes sense.
now that I think about it, this movie had absolutely everything that there is to have in an action film because he was hand-to-hand combat, martial arts fighting, swords, guns, motorcycle fights, car
I
chases.
disagree. It didn't have a skydiving scene. That's the only
That's
thing. That's
true.
missing.
Well, he there was
And
you didn't need
so-
one.
No,
'cause
no,
he
I'm
kept
just kidding, bro.
falling.
This thing had fucking everything. It was phenomenal.
The only
the
thing,
best.
like I said, was for me, I would have liked something incorporating stealth. I like if just the timeline is that's the justification is maybe that this is the end. There's no time to be slow. There's no time to prepare. You just got to get to the next mission and you got to face whatever challenge you have head on. I can understand that and I can live with that and I can say that this movie doesn't necessarily need stealth. I like the concept or the idea of somebody who's literally the boogeyman meant to instill fear. It's almost like Batman. Like that's Batman's thing.
Yeah.
He's gonna frighten you, and some guys are gonna run away before they're even fighting. And like you're telling me, John Wick kills 40 guys in the other room, and not one of those guys is like, I'm out of this motherfucker. I'm not fighting this guy. Are you kidding me? There was more need for that. I think.
I remember there was one guy who didn't want to get shot, and he was like waving his hands in front of his
Oh,
face,
yes.
but then he got shot in the dick, and then he got killed.
I really like that Mr. Nobody kept saying nuts to the dog, and then he would bite every single fucking guy in the nuts.
Yeah.
He was like, oh
I'm
shit.
working on that trick with my dogs.
How did you train the dog to do that?
What did you guys think about Mr. Nobody? Because there were moments
I
where
actually didn't like him.
I
But
didn't
Yeah.
like him. I thought I think he was a bad. He doesn't add anything to the movie. Like
If they would have actually explained his tracking,
Yeah.
abilities
And-
a little
and
bit more,
also,
it would've
like-
given him more depth.
like
I
his-
don't think he was that skilled of a guy. Like,
and then his
an
book,
assassin
it
compared
was
to
just a
everybody
weird
else.
obsession about random people.
Yeah, it seemed like he was just trying to get information.
It was just
on
notes
everybody
on Wick,
and anything
yeah.
about the high table. Wick, he knew the insignia
Yeah.
of the marquee, so
Yeah.
he was able to identify what that was.
This guy's an important dude in the game.
Yeah.
I think they were also doing a little bit of fan service because they're like, we're gonna bring another dog in.
Oh
It's
yeah,
gonna
and
be
they have
another
that moment.
another
call back to the
character
first
with
one.
like John Wick-esque that has a dog and he's a fucking skilled.
That was the cheesiest moment in the movie where he's like, he saved my dog. I'm not gonna get that $40 million bounty anymore.
You know,
literally.
hey, I will
was
say
like,
this.
I was like, these are all fucking murderers and
like,
paid.
like that's
yeah,
we just
like
thought
bounty
about
hunters.
That, though.
Yeah.
I was gonna say is like that's a side character we haven't even talked about. There was the Spanish like second in command to the marquee.
oh the henchman.
The
Yeah,
henchman.
he kept coming back.
who kept coming back no matter what. In my opinion, it just felt like another henchman.
I feel like he was kind of cool, like he was a little badass. But then every fucking little like one-liner in Spanish that he did, I was like, never mind, I don't like him anymore. Like, it was all too cheesy. I was just like, I mean, if he was just fucking the silent type that he's just like, I'm just a cold-blooded killer, like I would have been all right. He's a lot cooler, but they kind of fucked that up. So
Yeah.
him and Mr. Nobody.
I thought Mr. Nobody had some cool moments. I really
potential.
liked his
He had
fighting
potential.
style because he was more of a brawler,
Mhm.
and so like his punches felt. Like,
So I'm looking into
real
the
nice.
bikes that they might have used. They could have. It looks like they look like the bikes he sells, like his own.
Yeah.
But I don't know. But they do look. I'm pretty sure there has to be something connected with like
I'm sure they used something.
yeah, because I'm like, dude, he literally owns a bike company. Like
loves
why
motorcycles.
wouldn't he try to?
I think actually Keanu Reeves almost died riding his bike when he was a lot younger. So he has a giant scar on his belly from that accident.
I'm just looking at the random
Fun,
bike,
but
because they have
kind of a
they have
scary
quite a
fact.
few bike models, and I don't know which one it would be, but or maybe it's like a new bike that he's
You
gonna
can tell
produce.
But that-
Isaac is our resident.
there was a quick. It was just a very
connoisseur
quick
of
motorcycle
information.
fight because he
also
was doing a
find
wheelie
very
on and just tossed it.
focused.
At
Jamie, pull that
somebody.
up.
Yeah, because I do remember, like, I googled it, and they do have like the name, and it does look like one of his bikes. Yeah, so they do zoom in, and I remember like
What
specifically.
does it say on the thing? Aper what?
Aprila or something like that.
Is that the name of the company? You said it was Apollo, right, or something?
No,
like that?
the name of the company is Arc.
Arc. Oh,
But
okay.
it could be like the name of the bike or something that he's like trying to like showcase.
Yeah, I see.
I feel like we've been nitpicking this movie a lot though, because
No, we nitpick it
loved
just
it
because it's so
though.
perfect, bro. It's
Yeah,
like
you
I love
have to.
everything about it.
What do you want me to tell
All right,
you?
let's
Hey,
go.
yeah,
Yeah,
if
let's.
You,
Like,
you
I
want to
don't
see
know.
some of the best Actually, I will say the best action sequences I've seen in any film.
We
Ever.
also that's what we do.
Whoa.
We kind of nitpick at all the things
Any
that we just we watch.
Yeah.
But if you really think about it, I love this movie so much, and I think it's gonna be one of the best action films like for a good time, like a long time. And then also on top of that, for this year, I think it's gonna take the cake. Like I don't think there's anything else. That's
I
gonna beat
think
it.
it's the highest rated John Wick film,
It is. It got a 10.
and it has made the most movie out of all the John Wick films so far too, right?
The most
Something like
money?
that,
So far,
Yeah,
You said
opening
movie.
right.
Yeah.
or sorry,
Well, it's the
most
most
money.
movie too.
It's
It's
mo-
really fucking
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
the-
most movie.
This movie made the most movie out of all
Yeah,
the John
'cause
Wicks.
it is 3 hours long, so
So it is quite of a it is kind of a trek to watch. You know.
You know, I mean, as much as I felt the 3 hours at the end, but I didn't feel them.
I didn't at
I
all.
didn't
was
feel it.
like-
At the end, I was like, wow, that was a long movie. But in the process, I was like a lot of people mentioned, like there isn't a scene in the movie where you're not like being dragged in different directions and feeling like, oh, I'm experiencing all of this at once. So it doesn't feel like you're actually just sitting there waiting for development of
Yeah.
characters or development.
Dude,
of,
you know what? Well,
I disagree. I really did feel like it was a long ass movie because I could remember like almost at that 1 hour mark, constantly looking at my watch. I'm
you know,
like,
while we're here, why don't we start with the ratings?
yeah,
Isaac, go for it. Too long?
too long.
Too long of a
I
movie.
get 8.8.
That's still pretty high.
It's a good
for
movie.
fucking
Like
Isaac,
I
that
said,
might as well be a
pretty
10.
high.
bro.
For
Yeah,
Isaac, that's
Jesus
as high as it
Christ.
goes. I don't know.
Out of the 2 movies we've reviewed, including this one, that's the highest one you've ever given.
yeah.
No, we've
That's
done
crazy.
3, but like
Well, we
That-
don't,
that-
we
that's
don't
for-
count
we don't talk about
those.
the- we don't talk
Those
about
are,
those.
those are out.
Sorry,
If you guys do want to
join the
sign up for-
OnlyFans. That one's exclusive.
Yeah.
Sorry,
That one's on George's OnlyFans.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're just gonna see
That's
George's
another
ass
4
on
guys,
there.
one film.
George Octavius at 4 Guys One Film /
It's
OnlyFans.com.
50 cents a month, so it's affordable.
I think we could do more.
It's
than
actually free. Just we
Well, it's
want to
50
get it out
cents
there.
each.
We want some people
so
to
$2.
subscribe first, then we'll
That's
make
how
it
much he
private.
pays each guy.
All right, Alexis.
We'll actually pay you. to
What's
join.
your rating?
I don't know. Honestly, I do 8.0. I don't know if it was an 8.8 for me.
Whoa. Wow.
You say 8.0?
I said 8.0.
Explain
Wow.
yourself.
My reason is just that because it was just like action, and so I wanted a little bit of plot, and I wanted to know more of John Wick and some of the other characters, but we didn't really get that. It was just him kind of just fighting his way to kill the Marquis. Well, what was his reason for killing just to get his freedom, right?
Yeah.
For the marquee? Yeah.
Yeah.
He didn't care. So remember, the whole film, he did not say he wanted to kill the Marquis.
It-
He said he was going to eliminate the High Table.
Right.
And only until Winston pointed out to him that by this duel, by killing the Marquis, through this duel, he could actually just win his freedom and end it. Because that was the whole thing. They're like, where does it end? And he was like, with everybody's death, because that's the only way out.
he's like, you
Yeah,
can't do it.
I
They're
don't
gonna
think
just-
John even wanted to continue
No.
this kind of life. He was
He
retired.
was tired.
He was literally retired. He
was
had a
exhausted.
home. He had a dog. Like he was chilling.
Just
And then-
wanted to go home.
And I have a feeling he's not dead.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
I don't think so.
I don't think
Yeah,
they could
all,
just.
Hey,
end it
all
like
we
that.
saw was somebody lay down on the floor and a tombstone.
Look,
I didn't see an
There-
autopsy. I didn't see.
No body.
My take, like, they're 100% either going to do a spin-off or they're going to continue this franchise.
I think-
it's just wait. I mean,
Well, what they could do, and they might be thinking about doing this, but if he is the Baba Yaga, if he's the boogeyman, and you think he's dead, then he can actually become Baba Yaga in terms of like.
what do you
know,
think would bring him back?
fear.
Because now he has his freedom. He no longer has a reason to kill. He's basically a free man. Obviously, the right way was like to fake his death for people to think that he's gone because he no longer wants the part of the life. But what would actually bring him back? For
I
the fifth film?
think to probably get rid of the High Table, like actually taking off the head.
Like dismantle
So
that
just-
entire.
just-
Like
organization.
dismantle the society that's the control, the governing body over the.
Okay, I
he,
can see that.
he
I
could
like that.
become like a Punisher type character. That's just
And then
like,
I think instead of having a High Table, they have like all the regional managers, like Osaka, New York, like
Assistant to the region.
yeah, like be the actual people that reign over them, and then that would be the new High Table.
Yeah.
Instead of having these families like the Marquis, like he just inherited the position. He really didn't do anything to have it.
Yeah, the Marquis are elected. So every time that there's
Whoa.
basically they're given that power. The way that they explained it is that he has the full authority and full backing by the high table because they needed somebody.
The way I understood it is that he was already part of the high table.
Exactly, he was a
But
member
like
of.
I know, but like he didn't look like he did anything in particular to like earn that spot. Like yeah, he's a Marquise. Yeah, he probably comes from, I'm just a distinguished dude that has a lineage that I just so happen to be attached to the society.
Refresh my memory. Did they ever explain who the high table was, and like, do they just function in the shadows, or like?
Yeah,
what
they're
was it
just shadow
exactly?
men that
Like,
just
it does-
rule over.
they don't
us.
actually-
Secret society.
They're not out there, right?
It-
Like,
yeah,
on
no.
the
Like right now,
ground, fighting
currently?
and shit.
And
Yeah.
it doesn't seem like, what was interesting is like you're used to thinking of like whether it's comic books or other movies where like Illuminati type organizations are referenced, like they're meant to be like powerful people. But
Yeah.
but like the fact that in this, Santino's sister, the one that John Wick had to kill, the one, remember, if you remember John
Yeah.
Wick 2, where
Oh,
she slits her
yeah.
own
She
wrist
was
and
hot.
kills herself.
She was hot.
I forgot who, or supposedly Katya became a member of the high table herself, and
Once
she was
her
the head
dad died, yeah.
once her dad died.
No, wait,
So
no,
these are,
no. She was part of the under the table still.
I think,
That particular family that John Wick joined was under the table. They just happened to have a seal,
that
and
somebody, they mentioned that somebody from that family had a seat that would back John Wick's claim to that.
they didn't need a seat.
And-
He just needed to be a part of a family that was recognized by the high table to challenge him to a duel. He had to have the family backing and the seal. That's why they did
Marked
this.
himself.
They marked, yeah.
But anyways, yeah, I think 8-0. I think too much of a good thing can be a little bit of a bad thing, and I'm
Yeah.
not saying that that's like a hindrance to this film, but there are other films like Mad Max Fury Road.
What'd you rate Creed again?
I think he did 8.5.
Did I do 8.5?
Yeah, you
did
did an
eight-
8.5
you
for
did
Creed, but
8.5.
you get an 8 for.
Yeah.
I thought I gave it a
That's
7.5.
That's wild, bro.
No, you gave it an 8.5.
Yeah. There's
shit.
four. There's
Oh,
three
hit the
dudes.
arc.
I don't know, man.
Or,
8 is
you know
kinda
what, the
low. I
viewers-
don't-
What
I
do
don't
you
know.
think, George?
The viewers
Well,
in the
let him
chat, if you
finish,
guys
and
know,
then,
if you guys can
we'll
go
go ahead.
back and
Fuck.
go back into our
All right,
videos
dude,
and
my
see if-
ratings are skewed.
Yeah.
Yeah, Alexis, fucking clear out the
sucks.
All right,
table
because
and
I will say
start.
this was a better movie than
You know what I
Creed.
think?
I agree.
I
I
think
think it's way better
from
than
now
that.
on we'll also set up a chart on.
Yeah, let's keep track of
Let's
that
just do it
shit.
on Letterbox. Put our ratings on there. That
Oh,
way
I
we
already
know.
have it on Letterboxd.
Okay.
I don't know. Maybe
Alright.
we should do a 5 stars instead of 10.
Nah,
we'll
I like
we'll talk
10.
about this.
I like 10.
Yeah.
You guys like
What
10?
do you think, George?
Alright.
Well, I thoroughly really enjoyed this film. Like comparatively to the other ones, I feel like the other ones it definitely I felt a lot of like pleasure from watching them, but this was like peak for me. Like I don't know if it was just because there was so much.
What's more than
back
pleasure?
into it. I don't know, ecstasy, whatever. But I think I'm gonna give it a 9. Like I just really like everything about it. The action, the nonstop adrenaline, like the entire thing flowed really well for me. I don't think there was any points where it was just dragging. Like I felt like it was just action after action and then just things going on. Obviously, like Alexis said, it did lack a few different things on more like plot maybe. But other than that, I don't think it really missed the mark on anything else. Like the action was great. The cinematography was fantastic. The music, like score was also really good. I mean, the choreography for the fucking fight scenes was some of the best.
All right.
that
So what's
I've
your
seen.
rating then, George? Jesus.
I already give it a 9. Yeah, I said 9.
You said
Hey,
9.
he
Okay.
said
I
nine.
didn't
He
hear.
said
I'm
nine.
sorry for yelling at you.
Man, let him finish. Shit.
Yeah,
You-
Isaac
you
doesn't.
motherfucker.
Hey,
Isaac
Nick,
doesn't
Nick,
care.
don't go too long. He's gonna
Yeah,
yell at you.
I don't. I've already
You're
been.
on the timer, bitch.
I've already been yelled at one time. I won't do it
Yeah.
again. I'm sorry, Dad.
Sorry.
Okay. So for me, like this is my reminder to you, Alexis. This is an action movie, and that's exactly what they're doing. Nobody's getting best dramatic artist from this.
That's a good
or-
point.
That's true.
That's a
I
good
forgot
point.
to mention that. I agree with Nick on
Like,
that.
They
That's-
probably might win an Oscar for the fight scene.
And 100% cinematography,
There's no stunts.
sound or visuals. Who knows? But regardless,
Definitely not screenplay or story.
no.
Yeah,
Wait, they
well,
don't
yeah,
have
yeah.
the-
This
they
ain't
don't
La
have
La
the
Land
Oscar
or some
for
shit either.
stunts or like choreography.
No,
No, they don't.
Not even choreography.
No,
Yeah.
because their fear is that by doing that, then people are gonna do crazier stunts and people like could die.
Oh,
from
you can
that.
hurt yourself. Yeah.
Fuck it, bro.
Yeah.
For
Who
the sake of
cares?
the art. Yeah. Sorry,
But-
Nick.
If
go
you're
ahead.
willing to risk it, that's
But-
your biscuit,
Yeah.
dude.
My whole point with this is, I've actually voiced my own concerns with things that could have been done better, things that we can nitpick, things that are different from other films that will honestly take away from their action sequences and cinematography to try to build more plot, whether it's adding to the film or taking away from it. That just depends on honestly each one. But in this case, they added a lot. They had a lot to work with. clearly they had 3 hours, and if they had maybe 4 hours, they could have done more with some of these characters that we don't really learn anything
I think
about.
first cut was 3 hours 35 minutes, something like that.
Yeah,
So
and I'm
I
sure
hope I hope we can see that.
that'd be amazing.
Yeah.
And that might even add my score even higher. But my thing is this: is that if you get to the core of the John Wick films, it should be amazing action, realistic enough where you can believe it, but also enough of like fantasy where it's like this is the Baba Yaga, and that's what I still think they hit the mark with this. His fighting was incredible. And it was, whether it was weapons, I love him using nunchucks. I don't think.
Oh man, we didn't get into that.
I don't think he obviously can do nunchucks like Bruce Lee. I don't think there's going to be another actor who can do nunchucks like Bruce Lee, but that does not mean that he didn't do an awesome job and he didn't look amazing with nunchucks straight around his neck.
Yeah.
Everything was so cool and crisp.
Yeah.
And I think that my biggest kind of addition to all of this too is that all of the unknowns, it didn't seem far-fetched enough that I couldn't kind of try to fill those lines. And that's the beauty of it, is that I felt like I could fill in some of the reasons as to the why. Like, stealth wasn't allowed because there's not enough time, or, his dialogue is really lacking because he's exhausted. And that's part of it. Like, I'm doing a lot of the work for the filmmakers in this case, but the fact that I can do some of that, unlike other movies where it's like, no, you could just tell that they didn't pay attention. Like, they just didn't do their fucking job.
Yeah.
That's why I can give this a 9 too. I feel like it was a phenomenal film, and I'm really excited to see if there is more. Honestly,
And I think the reason this movie did a better job than let's say Creed is that it still felt like a John Wick movie. Creed 3 just felt like a spin-off movie.
Skewed.
It skewed away. It was dumb as shit for the most part.
Man, dude, I need to readjust my fucking review numbers
okay.
here.
You clean your palate a little bit on your scale.
You need to watch an Adam Sandler movie. That's what you need to do.
yeah. Once you watch,
Wait, you know what? I'm changing my score to 9 point.
No!
9.2.
No.
Hey, watch The Hangover 3 once, and then that'll cleanse your palate, and you'll be like, all right.
No, because I would watch this 3-hour movie again, and I
Absolutely.
will see it again next week. Actually, I'd rather see this again than Creed 3. So
Alexis watches every premiere of a movie like 3 times, I think. In a matter
Wait,
of
why
a
are you
week.
watching
It's
it
crazy.
again?
well, because my wife hasn't seen it and Andre hasn't seen it.
Let them watch it on Blu-ray. Okay.
No, dude, I'm gonna see this in IMAX. This was fucking incredible.
Yeah.
Like in the movie theater. If you guys can come along if you want to. Probably not. But
We got a big time for the next movie to review.
I still want to watch Shazam too, so I think I'm gonna do that next.
So I think that's it for this week.
dude, well,
Wait,
I'm the fucking host.
wait, hold on.
Well, you're
Before we
not
finish,
hosting, buddy.
so
You're not letting me.
One thing about the suits, though, like the bulletproof suits. So there's this guy on YouTube that actually tried to recreate the entire suit to see if it was doable to do like completely bulletproof with just Kevlar.
Doubt
And
it.
apparently it's very difficult because of the way that, so Kevlar, the way that it's created, like it'll stop bullets, but once it gets past like 9 millimeters, it's just not.
It's not reusable.
It's well, yeah. One, it's not reusable. Like once you get shot 2 or 3 times, like it's gone. Like it's not gonna be able to resist more. And then 3, it's like it's not gonna stop assault rifle rounds or like a fucking, another, a sniper or whatever. Shotgun, yeah, all that stuff. So realistically,
Can't stop Dragon's Breath.
probably wouldn't happen in real
stop,
life.
won't stop.
And this is the same guy too that created the whole fucking Iron Man suit and all these different things. I don't know if you guys have seen him.
Jesus.
Hey, you got somewhere to be, bud?
We're trying to keep
All right,
these
so
under
anyway, I just
under
wanted
an
to-
hour.
Hey,
in
I just wanted to point that out.
editing, bro.
All right.
that was a nice little tidbit to add. Thank you, George. I appreciate you. Want to wrap us up, Alexis?
Yeah, man, I'll wrap all of us up in a little blanket right now.
Oh, nice.
But you know what? Overall, this movie was fantastic, and I'm really glad that we got to see it together in IMAX. And I hope they make a 5th one. Honestly, I'm ready for it.
I'm actually kind of
Okay,
not
Mr.
ready.
8.0.
9.2.
Even though like the movie was good, I don't think I want to see another John Wick movie where it's just like him doing the same shit over again. If I want to see that, I could just watch the past 4 movies.
Isaac, respectfully, fuck you. No. Don't
George,
stop
you're
it.
dumb
Please,
as shit. Okay,
please,
we all
Keanu.
know it.
Please, Keanu, keep
The
it more.
fans are gonna know that you're dumb as shit.
Can we wrap this up?
Oh, we're wrapping it up. We're wrapping
I'm
it up.
I'm trying to finish this out.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you guys for listening to 4 Guys, 1 Film. I am Alexis.
George.
Nick.
And me, Isaac.
All right. Thanks again. Hopefully you guys will stick around for the next one.